Hello, everybody. I missed the song. I can't get the mics to work. There we go. Happy Monday, everybody. This is Leah, Ryan, and Loft Manager Richard from the Pioneer Racing Pigeon Club of Ontario. It's a Monday again. It's that time of the week. Ryan's had too much sugar, apparently. But we want to welcome you all to the Pioneer Family Show. What do we do every Monday night? We talk anything and everything to do with pigeons, pigeon racing, pigeon health, one loft racing, you name it. We talk about it. I'm going to check to make sure we are live on Facebook and YouTube. And I'll send it over to you, Ryan or Richard. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm here. Good to see you.
Hey, guys.
Good to hear from you. Hey, Ryan. Nice to see you.
Hey, Ricky. Nice to see you. Hey, guys. Remember, if you are on our Facebook here or YouTube, this is what we need from you. To go to our YouTube channel, Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions, and I need you to subscribe. You've got to subscribe. That way you get all of our information before even I get it. Even though I don't do the uploading and I do most of the content, I don't even know. Leah posts it, but you'll get it before I ever get a chance to see it. Frank Eichhorn, we hope you're feeling better. We welcome you to the show. And remember, like, share, and subscribe. When we hit 100,000 subscribers, we are giving away the ultimate pigeon. Leah, you don't even know this yet, but I made a move today. I'm sealing the deal. I'm moving and shaking and moving. Back to you, Leah.
I want to say a big good evening to everybody who has tuned in so far. Putting everybody's little hellos up there. Sorry, we're a little bit late as per usual. Ryan had a little bit of hotel issues this evening, but we are here, and we are here to answer your pigeon-related questions. We got a couple tips. One tip from Marco Mattis. We got a tip from Eric Limborg tonight. We're going to talk about intake dates for the Pioneer One Loft race. Ryan, stop being dumb. And what else are we doing? Back to you, Ryan.
Sorry, my brain is overloading with hotels and directions, and me and the car girl that talks to you. What's her name? Siri. She's been guiding me through this magical journey, and I have to thank her. But yeah, we got some pretty good tips today. We got a good motivational tip from Eric Limburg, what he does with hens, and his hen. I'm going to start with this. You guys didn't see it because it's in the Loft tour, but I will say for his widowhood cocks, how do you get widowhood cocks to go week in and week out towards the end of the season on widowhood? The secret is to not show them the hens when they come home. Hold on, why not? After they've busted their ass to get home for their hen, they've done 400 miles. Why don't you show them the hen? Because number one reason is let them rest. They'll enjoy the hen 2 or 3 days later. Much, much better. They blow up better. When me and Eric were talking, I got it in my head. After playing a sports match or a tournament all weekend, the last thing I want to do is go out and party, even though it's my friends. I'd rather rest for a couple of days and then go out, come back into better form. If you go out right after you exert yourself, what do you got left? You're bushed. You're bushed that night. You're bushed the next day. You're still bushed. Man, it's common sense. What a great Loft tour that was with Eric. Man, that was great. Back to you, Leah.
Loft Manager Richard, anything you'd like to add? I have no questions yet, so you guys talk amongst yourselves. Go ahead, Richard.
I noticed on that interview with Eric how he said he doesn't medicate. The pigeons have to be strong on their own. He believed that pigeon can't be strong on its own. It's out. In other words, you don't baby them. You treat them good. You feed them well. You exercise well. You must be strong. If you're not, you're out. Strong.
Yeah, every one of these super flyers, it's this way. I look to go in the loft. If they look at me wrong, It's it. It's finished. And I tell you something, they don't want to medicate. They want to use the least. They want to use the least amount of medication. So when they have to use the medication, it works strong. And like they say, if you give medication for a day, day and a half, and you're not seeing it get better, you're using the wrong medication.
Well, uh, can I say something?
Sure.
I've got here in my breeding loft, I got all the pairs together. And there's one pair, one young one, but last week didn't look so good. All the other young ones look perfect. I had to eliminate it. Now, a week later, I look at another young one. It looks not like the rest, but it doesn't look. I looked the day before and I'm going, you don't look so good. Maybe you don't look so good. I'll give you a little bit of chance. Give you a little bit. You know what? Elimination. So that pair cannot, what should I say, produce the strong young ones under the conditions that I put them in.
Yeah, and it can be flaws in the pair, it can be flaws in everything. But I was with Restrada, and we were looking at the young birds, and he says to me, "I eliminated 20 last week." I says, "Oh yeah, why?" He says, "They weren't built like steel. That's it. I didn't like them. They weren't my cup of tea." He says, "They go." He says, "I'm not messing around here. You try and win these national races, you try and get to the top level, you have to be very, very strict." And I'll tell you, you can see it in his pigeons. And he says, people get all worried. Oh, you breed 100 youngsters, you eliminate them maybe down to 60. Some years you have to do that. You eliminate them down to 90. You eliminate them down to 80. You eliminate what you have to. He says, people that look at it and say, oh, I have to eliminate that many, my season's ruined. No, no, no. You're making your season better. You're fixing your season. And another thing I learned, Leah, there's no questions, is there?
Yeah, you see Daniel Herman, there's that little question there on the thing. So when you're done, then
Oh,
we're going to ask that question. Carry on.
okay. One more thing. Eric said it right on, and I call him Eric the Great, and he's great. You don't change how you're playing the game through the season. So if you start by training twice a day, or not twice a day, but you start on a system, the start of the season, you use the system the whole way to the end of the year. He says this keeps the pigeons in a groove. He says if you want to change something, you wait till the season ends and you add that into the next season. You don't change on the fly. You don't do drastic changing. He says it just screws up the pigeons. Okay, Leah, what does Daniel got to say?
Richard, did you want to say something? You had your finger up.
Yeah, I want to say I agree with what you just said, Ryan. So many times people are flying their birds and they'll say, so and so, he beat me by 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You know what I'm going to do now? And what he does now, he changes his system and it just throws him right off. You got to keep that, exactly what you said, keep that system. Because soon you change it, you say, I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to change the system. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. You're going to
Yeah.
fall right off the boat. 100%.
Go ahead, Leah.
Thank you. Daniel Herman is asking, do you ever see any kind of Belgian fanciers checking the breast color and skin shininess or blood bubbles in order to check the form? Quick answer, we got lots of questions.
Yeah, they do that, but you don't do it until the birds are in form, until we're in race season, right? Yeah, I mean, loft flying, you see it a bit, but you got to wait till you really start working them and getting them blown out. There you go. Go ahead, Leah. Next one up.
Next question from Daniel. Also, what do you think about a blush color to the breast meat as a sign of too much protein in the feed?
Blush.
I don't know. Blush. I don't know. I think at the beginning of the week they shouldn't be blown out, but by the end of the week you should see those feathers part. It should be shouldn't be red. It should be a nice soft pink color, and the skin should be very smooth. And like a tire on a bicycle, you feel it. It's got that sponginess to it, but it's still hard. But you want to see the feathers. I never like to open a bird and open the feathers just to see the chest. When the bird's ready, the chest should be out. The feathers should be parted. It's like a woman that unbuttons her blouse at the front. You see how it's unbuttoned? That's how the pigeon's breastbone should be when you get it into form. Am I correct, Ricky? I'm correct.
Oh yeah, 100%. I believe it's like when I'm liberating the trailer, you can tell.
Yeah, you can tell. Next question.
Michael Beevler, the tip from the maze. Can you give that milk tip to young in the nest, or is this only for weaning?
Do it whenever you want. It's not going to hurt them. The iodine's not going to hurt, and the milk's not going to hurt. Um, yeah, you can give it.
Question, is Eric Lindbergh a former soccer pro? He's a former soccer pro, Ryan?
Yeah. He was a center in the midfield. So you know, a guy that plays in the midfield, especially in the center, he's very smart. He's got his mind. I don't want to say this to make him not sound smart, but his mind's very slow. That means he sees the play. Everything comes to him slow, but he sees the plays ahead. If you play in the middle of the field, you're very smart. You're good at distributing, and he's taken that over and used it in pigeons. You can see because his ideas, and you're going to see his hens tip. Um, we'll start probably with the hens tip. Maybe it's a good one.
We will. So we're going to show Eric's the first tip from Eric Lindbergh in a second. But interesting story with Eric. He played soccer, yes, right? And then what happened to him? How did he get onto the pigeons? Just tell everybody quickly, because I think it's very interesting how things happen to people.
Quickly, he was a bank guy. He worked in a bank after his pro career, and he went to his car one day and he got held up by people and to take his car, give him the keys, and unfortunately he got shot and he was off his feet for about a year, and that's how he started playing with the pigeons full time.
And
And
look
that
at
was that.
now, he's just a master champion of Belgium and all over. And isn't that funny, right? Like you think your life's going to go one way, and then something happens, and your life goes in a completely different direction.
Yeah, lucky for that. I mean, he said I was playing pigeons halftime. He says once the injury happened, I was at home. I had to play full time.
Obviously, yes, Richard. And then Mike has a question, and then we're going to get to the tip. Go ahead.
Yeah, I watched. First of all, uh, I'm not going to change the subject. I watched that with Eric, and like he said, he was born into pigeons. When he was 6 years old, he said that right there. He'd be in the pigeon loft, somebody's loft upstairs, sitting with pigeons.
Yeah.
And then I guess he moved on to whatever he did to do, for work. He still had the pigeons, and then once that broke him down with that, he got shot. He had time, more time, and then went bang. There's always that time in our life, and I found it with myself. I had pigeons since the time I was a wee boy. And then once you get into your teens or 25 years old, whatever, it kind of goes down into kind of a little bit of a slowdown for the birds. But then all of a sudden, bang, you're right back in there.
Just
You
like
know?
riding a
That's where
bike.
he is.
Just like riding a bike. Mike Vanderyak, does Eric still have the two-story loft? Ryan?
Oh, Mike, you're going to have to go back and look at the show. Yeah, he's got the two-story loft. I think we posted on Facebook. It's
Yeah, and
there.
on YouTube. And on YouTube. But we do have the loft tour. The actual loft tour is coming up. I just haven't edited it yet because I'm waiting till I get through the auctions to do the new breeders that we're introducing for season 5. So those loft tours will come up within the next month or so. Okay, we're going to get to a tip from Eric Lindbergh. What is he talking about on this tip again, Ryan? How to motivate cocks?
Know how to motivate hens.
Oh, I'm sorry. How to motivate hens. Eric Lindbergh. Here we go, guys.
But I will show you first the loft because it's total older than my Whitware loft for the cocks.
Okay.
Here you see no hen, eh?
No hen.
You see? There's nothing now, eh?
Nothing.
Before I basketing, I open that.
You open. Okay, so before you basket, you open this. The hens are outside
this.
here.
The hens are outside. I will show you. I open this, but you see my boxes for the hen. They are very special, huh?
Oh wait, I gotta see this.
Look, I make them so. I have only one cock for 2 hens.
One cock.
I have only 24 cocks. 12 boxes here, 12 boxes there, the same loft.
So one cock goes in the middle.
The hens are paired up with the same cock. 2 hens are paired up with the same cock.
And this is why we call him Eric the Great. You see?
Usually the special, but
you find this works?
A little motivation.
So in each middle, there's a cock.
And the hens fly there. The first arrival can go first by the cock.
And stay with them.
The other one can look a little what happened and they don't like it. The one inside.
They get jealous.
Of course. After I change it, the other one come also to the cock.
Yeah, the other one get jealous. And how you'll play this system with the hens all season?
All season, yes. I have only one loft.
Yeah,
it's the same.
And the hens, how do you?
But it can happen that the hen go. In the beginning, they go to that cock or to that cock.
It doesn't bother you.
It's a little chaos.
Yes.
It's a little
chaos.
Yeah.
A little chaos, and that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, let's talk about that tip. Ryan, go ahead.
You see, he uses chaos. He uses the cocks. He uses jealousy. He gives the hens rewards. He makes the other hen jealous. He calls it chaos, but he's a hell of a flyer. He's stimulating to the max of the abilities. And you know one thing I really enjoy is he has the hens and the cocks that always stay home. So the mates are always coming home to their partners or what have you. He doesn't race them total widowhood. So total widowhood means all the cocks and all the hens go to the races. He doesn't do that. Go ahead.
Loft manager Richard, anything you'd like to add to that?
Well, I think 100%. 100% positive.
Yeah,
100%.
Good. It's a good system.
Yeah,
it's a good system. You can see what he does. It's very intelligent.
Yeah, very, very good. Very.
And you see how nice the boxes work. So the cocks are in there. They're in their bowl. He lets each hen in. He leaves each hen to the outside. So the hens look and they get jealous with each other and they get more and more competitive.
Well, what it is, the first hen in, she gets to see her cockbird. And then the other hen comes a little bit later. She gets really upset because the other hen's already in.
Yeah. And it creates a chaos, and then he lets the other hen in, pulls the other hen out, and everyone's getting the reward, and then the next hen gets jealous. So it's interesting. Go ahead, Leah.
Does he do a lot of cleaning? Because Daniel Herman says it looks like he must get new nest boxes each season. They were clean. Is he a big cleaner, Eric?
Well, sure. These guys here, that man's a professional of professions. Yeah, he has a loft helper that he works with, but they don't have pigeon shit on their floors. And these super top lofts, they don't have it at all. Literally, you could eat a sandwich in there. Well, you see when he fed his widowhood cocks in the boxes, you see what they do with a soup spoon and how they do it. It's just boom, 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 boom. And I says to him, are you sure they're going to eat it all? And a man that knows what he's doing, he just said to me, all this food will be gone. There's nothing left. And by the time he was done feeding, everything cleaned up. He's spot on with the measurement.
Super. Great job. Good job and good tips. Thank you very much to Eric for those great tips. He will be at Feathersleep Pigeon Auction, season number 5. So stay tuned for that, guys. Okay, I guess, guys, don't forget to post your pigeon-related questions in the comments. Oh, hello, we've got our friend from Cuba in the house. Nice to see you on, friend. Okay, so I guess we should quickly talk about the recent avian influenza outbreak or threat of outbreak or whatever you want to call it by the CFIA and how that is going to affect our intake dates for our one loft race. So, Ryan, you want to talk about that a little bit? What's going on with that?
Yeah, well, from what I hear, we're not allowed to start taking birds in now till what, the week of May the 9th, or May the 9th we can start taking them in. If that's
Yes,
correct.
that's correct. Yeah.
So we're going to go now May the 9th. We're going to go 2 weekends. So whatever that is, the weekend of May the 9th, and then the next weekend, and then it's cut off.
Okay, so because of the threat of the avian influenza and the fact that the CFIA has now put a stop on any kind of commingling of any kind of poultry, and pigeons obviously fall under that, there has been a ban on any of that until May the 9th. Therefore, our intake dates will now be, and I'm going to make a post, not to worry, I'm going to change it on our website, I'm going to change the flyer, I'm going to post it on our Facebook page, not to worry, I'll even put a little post on Wind Companion. Our new intake dates will be Monday, May the 9th to Monday, May 23rd. May 23rd, of course, as you guys know, in Ontario or in Canada, is a holiday, Victoria Day. It's the May 2-4 long weekend. So the final date for intake will be May 23rd. Do not bring birds to us before May the 9th. You will be turned around and you'll have to take your birds back. We are not accepting any birds until the Canadian Food and Inspection Agency gives us the okay to do so. Now, will this affect our race schedule with this 2-week delay? Ryan, Richard, is this going to affect anything?
We're just going to push it back 2 weeks. There's not a problem. We're just going to make a slight adjustment there, and that's all we're going to really do. It's not going to change anything.
It's not going to
I guess
affect how they break. It's not going to affect how they train. It's not going to affect them being prepared for race number 1 mid-July. That's what I'm asking.
nope. It's not gonna change anything, in my opinion. Go ahead, Richard.
It's not going to change. It's going to be backed up 2 weeks. I think some people may be concerned about, 2 weeks backed up or whatever you call it. So where are we going to finish off with these young birds? The last race should finish off the last week in September, right, Leah?
Well, that's if we adjust
Yeah.
the race schedule. Are we adjusting the race schedule or are we not
Uh,
adjusting the race
Well,
schedule?
we're just
yeah, I
we're gonna. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get the birds in. We're gonna get the birds settled. We're gonna get the birds loft line. We're then gonna make our decision. I think we're gonna push it back 2 weeks. We're already on a pretty tight schedule. I think a little bit of time is okay. We got all the time in the world. We're good.
And this is also going to affect then if we do adjust the race schedule dates, if we do, because we haven't even said we're going to yet. But then that'll also be with the Pioneer Combine as well, because as you know, when we're under this mandate, this avian influenza, you shouldn't be training, you shouldn't be doing anything that is going to put anybody else's birds at risk. So maybe everybody else would benefit as well from delaying or postponing the first race date instead of it being whatever it is, I can't remember, July 23rd or whatever. We could start off, maybe we could do first weekend in August, but that's something we're going to have to look at. Now, Mike Vandriak, says, what happens if the May 9th date gets extended by the Ministry of Agriculture?
Take them later. That's it. There's no problems. We're gonna get it done. Remember, we're the only race in Canada. We do what we say we're gonna do. And you know what? Nobody can say otherwise. So you don't have to worry, Mike. You just get your birds here when we open and we'll have a season. We promise you that. We promise that to everyone. Because again, the Pioneer, what we say is what we do. That's why we are number one.
So, David Tracy, yes, Richard, go ahead, and then David Tracy has a question. Go ahead.
I appreciate Mike's concern, which is a really good concern, great concern. But the Pioneer Racing Pigeon Club or Pioneer One Loft Race, we will not back down. We will not be cowardly, okay, and back down. Let me say this one thing.
You don't have to repeat me.
So we're going to go exactly. We're going to go ahead. Even I don't want to say it. If we have to fly, I shouldn't say this.
We're gonna get it. We're just gonna get the season. We're gonna get the 9 races in, and it'll be said and done. That's it. Right. I don't need to give dates and times. Yeah, it'll be done.
Exactly. So David Tracy's asking, is there any ban for the U.S. for us Americans? So I don't know in the U.S. what your avian situation is, but they're just doing Ontario's just taking precautionary measures where they're just not allowing it for the next month. It's more, I think, with regards to livestock, for human consumption, chickens, ducks, stuff like that. But we certainly have to adhere to the rules, right? So what it means is there's no movement of birds in Ontario. So right now we are unable to bring birds in from the States. We're unable to take birds from here, from Ontario, and export them into the US just because we're under this kind of restriction right now for the next month.
And the other thing is, the US breeders, you're on the same level as the Canadian breeders. The week of May the 9th, we're going to adjust it. So that's the import date for the American flyers. So you American flyers and Canadian flyers, everyone's in on the same deadline. Remember, we don't bend the rules for people. We make sure everyone can get involved, everyone can get on board, and everyone plays by the same rules. So right. Americans, don't worry, you're playing.
Right. So Stan the Man, I was also asking, he is from America. Oops, we just had some kitchen crashing there. When will you pick up American birds now? I think, as Ryan said, we're going to aim towards the week of May the 9th, that first week in that 2-week period, for Ryan to head over to the States and then bring the American birds back. As I said, as we get closer to that date, we will contact our American breeders directly by telephone. Loft Manager Richard, that's going to be his job. To contact all of our wonderful American participants directly, give you the address, give you the shipping instructions, give you the particulars on exactly how to do it to give you the best results to get your birds to Buffalo as safely as possible and all the rest of it. So that'll happen closer to May 9th when we start accepting. Guys, if you have questions about intake dates, race schedule, anything about the One Loft, please, now is the time to ask them. That's why we're here, okay? So make sure you ask those questions. Okay, Troy Spencer, I think training is fine as long as you don't train with anyone else. I do not know. That's something you would have to contact the CFIA or the Ministry of Agriculture or the Prime Minister of Canada and ask them directly. I'm not here to give advice on what their rules and regulations are. Please check for yourself before you do anything. That would be my advice. Alfred. He's asking, do you want to come and have a beer before you go back to Canada? He already has them cold for you.
Hey, Alfred, you're my good friend. If I can get there, I will, or maybe I don't know. We'll figure out something before I go. See, Leah, I can't leave, man. They want me to stay.
Brian says, already one club here in Wisconsin, USA, that is not flying old birds due to avian flu. Everyone is worried about young bird racing now. Guys, worrying about things is not going to change it. What I suggest you do is carry on with your preparations of your young bird teams, if you're in the States or whatever, and just carry on. This kind of happens every spring. We sort of hear this little, I think last year was the same thing. There was some to do with avian. Do you not remember?
Yeah, we had that. And again, Richard, just hold on one second. Again, maybe like Troy said, in our local areas, you can train your own pigeons. Well, see, then that won't affect the One Loft race because we'll just run it like we normally do. We'll just run it like a straight One Loft. But either way, guys, when people say, well, they're not going to race their young birds, wherever you are, go out there and continue to play with your young birds, put them on your own race course, take them yourselves, stretch your youngsters out, and test them on another way of testing, even if you can't be part of a club or a combine because of this. Anyways, go ahead.
But certainly check with your local government officials to make sure that training is okay. I would not want to advise anybody to get out there and train if it's not allowed. So please do your own research and find out for yourself directly from the source. Right?
Yeah, I'm wondering. I'm interested in some of the races around. I see people are taking birds in. That's very, I don't know, dangerous, or I don't know if that should be even done.
I'm not sure. All I know is we're not doing it until the government says that
Okay.
we're allowed to do it. What other races do, that's on them. We're adhering by the rules and regulations of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency and the Ministry of Agriculture. Loft Manager Richard?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Troy was saying, or Leah, you said call the ministry about training or law flying. I wouldn't wake up the lion. I would just let your birds law fly. If you're going to go for a training toss, go for a training toss. We got barn plugs flying all over the place as well. Like, you know,
Maybe call your local union. Call your union that you're a member of. They should have the answer for you. How about that advice?
yeah,
Is that good advice?
but let me say one thing. I've always been kind of the local union. I think they have to be safe, and they're also cowardly. So they're not going.
Anyway, that's their problem.
Richard.
Anyway, all I was saying is I'm not going to tell people to train or not to train. I would like them to find that information out on their own. Because if somebody trains and they're not allowed to train and they get in trouble by the dog catchers of Ontario or whoever runs around chasing after people, I don't want them blaming us. Do you understand what I'm saying, Richard? You get
Okay,
that, right?
100%.
That's all I'm saying.
Because
We're not.
we know what they'll do. They pick
Yes,
us as the fucking scapegoat because that's all they know how to do.
right. And they will say,
Yeah,
well, the Zonikins
don't
told me to
train.
train. So I'm not telling
Don't
anybody
train.
anything. Do your own thing.
Don't
You
train.
do you.
Don't train.
All right. We're going to get, I think, to the next tip. Marco Mattis has a great tip about, I think, another hawk deterrent tip, Brian. Is that what this is?
Go ahead, Leah. Shoot her in there.
Here's another one. Here we go. Marco Mattis, hawk deterrent. Here we go.
Hey guys, Ryan, Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions, Pioneer Racing Pigeon Club of Ontario, tips and tricks, Marco Mattis. Marco, behind this door, this is a tip that you do for your race birds,
Yes.
to save your race birds.
Yes.
Can we go in and take a look
Yes.
and you tell me the tip?
Sure. Normally, the youngsters' loft is open, and the youngsters could every
Can come
time
in
here in the
Daytime.
loft, and yes, and every time they have enough place for 60 youngsters. At the moment, I have here, it's the racing season starts. Only the pigeons. I let them go first out, and the hawk can catch them.
So, to save your race, your cocks and hens, you will let these birds out first. You let them go out and play, and if the hawk should get one, he gets these first.
Yes, it's very.
And how long will you use these until you don't need to anymore?
In the first week of May, the attack stops because the falcons pair them and make breeding, and then stops. But you have to make this 4 or 5 weeks with this method. Yes.
So hey, you do this to save your race birds. Guys, it's another way to beat the hawk. Maybe the way to beat the hawk is not to catch the hawk, but it is to feed the hawk. Marco, I want to thank you for the tip. Very good, my friend.
There we go. A great tip from Marco Mattis. Let's talk about that tip, Ryan. What is he saying there? Does he just raise those birds specifically for hawk bait, or how does that work?
No, he picks the ones that he doesn't want on the race team anymore, and he'll use them. And he's got, where he lives, the forests around him, the falcons are bad. They almost take a bird a day there. So the only way he's found around it was you can't get rid of them. It's impossible. There's too many. So he says to just feed them. That's that.
Loft manager Richard, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I watched that and I'm a little bit slow, but I don't understand how he feeds them, like through his fly pen, or how does that work? Or he
He
lets
lets
them
them
out?
out. He lets them out. He lets them out for 2 hours before his other birds go out. So the hawk eats one of them.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
He
I
can't
know,
stop it.
no.
He lives in a
And
highly forested area, and I think he understands that you can't get rid of them, so you have to try and beat them at their own game, essentially.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right. Leah's right on. Another way
Great
to do
tip.
it. That's all you
Yeah.
can say. It's another way. It's not a bad way.
Oh, super tip. Great job. Okay, Quiverant. Ryan was at the Quiverant release on Sunday. Did you guys catch that? I know Ryan wanted to explain a little bit how Quiverant works because I wasn't quite sure myself. But why don't you explain to everybody how racing from Quiverant works in Belgium?
So that spot there is owned by the I'm bad with the name. It's the KDBD, the organization in Belgium. That piece of property is owned in Quiverang. You see on the drone footage, you see they paved that field out. They have big gates that has their logo on it, so they use that property, and that's one of the main spots for sprint racing. So every week they race out of there, and again, it can go from 20,000 to 80,000 pigeons in a release. It is probably one of the coolest and greatest things I've ever seen and experienced. It was so good. I'm going to go back this Sunday again because it's incredible. And to think about how many pigeons you can race there 20 times in a season. There's a time there where the young birds race the old birds. So you're looking at upwards up to 100,000 pigeons, and you see the transporters there. And I got there at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had to find where they were, and I did. And they had all the transporters open, everything was open, and birds were getting good air. The drinkers were all in there. You could see that the birds were drinking, and you could hear the music. As the morning came, the birds got louder and louder, and as they're cutting the gates, louder and louder. And the most amazing thing was, and you see in that video, there's no circling, there's no bullshit. It's just pedal to the metal, and the drone footage shows it. It's the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. Uh, the pigeons in Europe are superior. They're incredible, and letting them out. I could actually smell the pigeon. I could feel the wing movement, and you could smell the sweat, the lather of the pigeons. Pretty cool.
Totally cool. I'm gonna see if I can get the little drone footage here. Well, all I can do is the short, but I can show it here. Ah, that's not a very good. Anyway, you guys have seen it, I'm sure. It's absolutely incredible craziness. But wow, what a journey those pigeons go on. I mean, you think for a lot of them that was their first release of the season, and for some of them that's their first race of the season and their last race of the season, and for others it's their first race of the season, moving on towards champion. Do you know what I mean? It's incredible. I
I
thought it was
mean,
great.
you just take a look. I mean, I could name birds all day, but you'd take a look at Kittle. That was his spot. You take a look at, the Daniel from Staff Van Reed, or the Dickie Prince, 57 times first out of there. Um, you see how those pigeons leave. They know what they're doing. They're not stupid. They put the pedal to the metal, and there's those who follow, and there's those who lead. We understand that. Um, but again, I think we should take a moment to congratulate Eddie Grugens in his club. He won his club from Crevin this weekend. So I want to congratulate Eddie Grugens on that. Maybe we were a bit of luck. Let's try it again this week, Eddie. Go ahead, Richard.
I think you said something about the birds, top birds. I do believe it's the pigeon flyers. They condition their pigeons. They have to leave, and and the birds. It's not only the birds; it's the flyers. The guys are going. I'm going to this race. These birds must leave like that. No circling. They got to leave. They got to have that condition and the mental condition to leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I have to say the attention to detail at the liberation. For instance, the head boss there that's doing the liberation, the head guy, okay? He directed me on where to park my car. He directed me where to go, where to stand, where I was allowed to stand, right? There were people there that showed up with baskets. He stopped them, said, "Sorry, you have to wait. This is our area. You have to wait." He did that. But he was very nice, let people photograph or do what they wanted. But the big thing was, it was beautiful there at 6 in the morning. It was about 2 degrees. They did not release until the temperature got over 6 degrees. So I said to them, "Well, what time are you going to release?" "Oh, we'll wait. We'll wait till 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock to release. When the temperature is right, we release."
So that was Frank Eichhorn's question. Why the 10 o'clock release time? Because of the weather or just being safe? So Ryan just answered, they do not release the pigeons until the temperature is 6 degrees or above. I guess that's their KBDB rule. I'm not quite sure, but that's what they do. We had a question about supplements. I'm going to get to that question in a second, but I just want to continue this thread here about the release. Brian Mansker, I would say because they race from that same location so many times every year, there should be no need to circle. They've been there and done that so many times. This was race 1 though of the season, was it not?
Yeah, this was race 1, and yes, a lot of those birds have been there. And there's 4-year-olds, there's 5-year-olds, there's 7-year-olds, and I get that. But I'm going to tell you something. I've released enough pigeons from what I've seen in releases. The pigeons don't leave the same way. These pigeons left like it was something that I had never seen before. It was almost like, the saying, blink and you'll miss it. Blink and you'll miss it. There's none of this. And when Eddie Grugin said, depending on which way the trailer's pointing or what way your trailer gets there, you can lose the race by 30 seconds because your bird's got to make a half a turn instead of going straight. So I seen it this weekend, and Eddie, thank you for that. You were 100% right.
So Mike Parrish has a question. They release from the same spot every time with a question mark. And that was my question too, because here in North America, what we are used to is we do 8 or 9 weeks of young bird racing and we all follow the course and whatever. But in Belgium, it's different, right, Ryan? Why don't you explain how it's a little different?
Yeah, they have a sprint series set up. You can fly Quiverant every weekend. That's the short spot. That's the sprint spot. That's, for instance, when you go to the Lear Market, you're going to see all those birds at the Lear Market, majority of them with Quiverant results. That people love to fly it. They love sprint racing. It's quick, it's fast, it's done. 100 kilometers, 60 kilometers, 120 kilometers, it's done. There's people that focus on the middle distance racing. Now, they have a few different race points, but Quiverant is one of those points that they always go to. Go ahead, Richard.
Some people, the middle distance or long distance, they use that spot and they don't even care if the bird's place. They use it for training. So you get guys in there at Prevent. They use it for competition. Some guys do. They do. But other people, they use it for just training. In other words, every Wednesday, we go there. They take their birds there for a Saturday race just to open them up, to train them, to get the brain working really good. It's like a training spot, but then other guys use it for a competition spot. And for 50,000 birds, let's say, if I put my birds in there, I don't think they're even going to come home.
I don't know. That's what I thought.
Honest,
They'd be
right?
circling. They'd be circling. They'd be circling.
Pretty incredible. Jerry Campos, do you have pigeon supplement in stock in Toronto?
Pigeon supplement. I don't know what you're looking for. Because some people say supplements are one thing. We have no medication, so no medication at all. Private message me for that after, for like health supplements or whatever.
Private message Ryan for supplements, not for medication. We do not sell medication. We do have some supplements. Message Ryan for the supplements if you're interested in them. Heather Green, when you're road training young birds, is there a trick or a tip to get them not to circle when they first get released out of the crate?
I have something to say.
Go ahead.
I've heard of Heather Green a lot. Wear green shorts.
All right. Well, that was a good one, Richard. I don't know where you were going on that one, but
Heather Green's been watching our training, and that's just a little pun in there. No, I don't keep them on a line of flight, right on the straight line of flight. And if they're loft flying well, you just step them up, and away you go on that line of flight. Don't take them 40 miles west, 40 miles east and south. Keep them on that straight line.
What Heather was asking initially at the beginning of training is circling normal?
Yeah, well, sure. Everybody, everything, no, Richard, she's talking about taking the birds on a training flight, please. Listen to what we're asking. So, Heather, just stop for a second, Dad. So, Heather, this is what you're going to do. It's simple. When they first start training, they're kids. They got to learn a little bit. So, you know what? Take them to 2 miles and leave them there. Take them there 7, 8 times until they stop circling. They go out and they go home. You know, they're not going to do it right off the hop. And again, feed does help. You back the feed off, it brings them in a little bit better. But young birds are so full of piss and vinegar, you just have to watch. You have to play it slow, multiple repetition. Derek Walsh, he trained his young birds 80 times before the first young bird race. He says a lot of the time it's 5 to 10 miles, the same spot, drilling the straight line in. There you go.
I don't think that Heather should get discouraged if the first few trainers, she's got the birds going out of the basket and they're doing a lot of circling. And I don't think she should be frustrated or be down on herself or be hard on herself because of that. That's completely normal. They're finding their bearings. They're trying to figure out how to get their way home. Right? You know.
They may take 15, 20 times before they start really getting it. You know, they start to figure it out. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, if your birds are loft flying good, let's say a half an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes. And once you see that, they're really in that's like a teenage stage. And I've said, okay, they're ready to start training. Take your birds 3 miles, 5 kilometers, and I've actually seen it. You let the birds out, and I've actually followed them in my car, and the birds go right over the loft and and they come back like a half an hour later. I've seen them go right over, and what I'm saying is they're like teenagers. They have to. I don't know how to say it. They have to get a little bit.
They have to learn.
Yeah.
They have to learn.
They have to learn.
There's no way that they're going to know on the first trainer, the second trainer, maybe even the fifth trainer, what it is that you're expecting them to do, what their job is when they get out of the basket. That takes time, right? That's called training. That's why we teach them the month or a month and a half or 2 months leading up to the first race. That's why it's called training, right? Because they're learning. And what you hope is by the time you've put in the hours and the training to teach them, that by the time the first race comes, when they're let out of the gate, there's not a lot of circling going on because you've taught them for the last 6 weeks or 2 months or a month.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
That's right.
I think.
That's right.
Okay.
And remember, once they're doing it good, that means you're now ready for a screw up again. Because the only way they really learn is by screwing up. So whenever they're screwing up, yes, you're going to lose pigeons, but you're learning. You're learning. They're learning and you're learning. So Heather, circling is okay. Take your time, a little bit of repetition. When you first start training, Heather, this is what I want you to do. Pick a 3 mile spot and stay there until they don't circle. They go out and they go straight home. That's it. When they do that, move up to the next point. Move them to 7, 8 miles. Do it again. Keep them there till they don't circle. Then go up to the next spot, 20 miles. Do it again till they don't circle. There you go. And you're going to learn how to play it. You're going to learn. Oh, they got quicker. They got quicker. They got quicker. Because you're teaching them to succeed. Go ahead, Leah.
David Tracy, I really appreciate the interview with Emil Denny. He was someone I have admired for years and was pleased he answered my questions. He is a true professional. And guys, this is the thing. When you see Ryan on and it's a live broadcast where he is on with these breeders and he's saying, if you guys got questions, now's the time, ask the questions. Do not ever feel shy or nervous or intimidated or embarrassed to write these breeders your questions. This is why we take the time to do it. A lot of our stuff on this tour has been pre-recorded just because of our schedule. We had to pre-record things in order to keep the auctions flowing. But that's why Ryan does take the time when he is there with them to do a live, so you are able to interact with them the same way that you would if we were to do a lot viewing and we had the breeder on and you could ask them questions. So please, they love the questions. The more questions, the better, and don't ever feel embarrassed or intimidated to ask these fanciers questions. They're here to help you. They love it when they hear either you won with their birds or you gave them a piece of advice and it worked. I mean, they love that. When they've won almost everything there is to win, and they got trophies coming out of the yin yang, you kind of move your focus as to what your next goals are. And these people really do want to help you. So don't ever be afraid. But thank you for that. Yes, Emil Denny, he's fantastic. He's like the granddaddy of racing over there in Belgium. Troy Spencer. Ryan, why do you think pigeons in North America, pigeons, will circle and not clear the release area fast? Why do you think the pigeons in North America circle and not clear the release area fast? Right?
In my opinion, it's the pigeon men. There, that's my answer to that.
Loft Manager
Do you want me
Richard?
to elaborate?
I don't know. Whatever. And then we have a question.
I believe what you're saying. Number one, they could be not in the greatest health. Number two, the people that own the birds don't train properly, don't loft properly, loft flying, and they don't train properly. So basically, you got maybe a health problem, respiratory, and they're not loft flown properly, and
Come on.
Loft Manager Richard cut out,
Yeah.
but we still got you, Ryan. So we'll wait for his phone to clear up there. Maybe somebody tried to call him. I'm not sure. But did you want to elaborate on what Loft Manager Richard was trying to say? He's still frozen. Or do you want to get to
It's
Daniel's question?
and I don't mean to knock it. You listen, from what I've seen here, it's just a different world. They're different pigeon men. They leave way more stones. They unturn more stones. They're just better. I hate to say it, and again, they have better pigeons. So they put all these better things together, and you get better, 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 and that's what happens, right? And that's not knocking people because we're Canada or we're North America. What do we really know about pigeon flying? We all talk. We're pigeon flyers. Yeah, I'm the same thing. I am not a pigeon flyer until I fly here. Go ahead.
Daniel Herman, what are the most common clocking systems that they use in Belgium? Are all of the clubs using old clocks or are the electronic systems like benzing, right?
They've got different clocking systems. They use Bricon, they use Unicon, they use benzing. It all depends in the area and the clubs. There's guys that still use manual clocks. So and again, for the big national, international races, you have to have an electronic clock and a manual clock. So your bird has to come in, has to land. Like Verstrada, the one year he won a national, the bird came in, it clocked, it went under the landing board and sat up in the. It was a motivational pigeon. It sat up there, and he didn't see the bird. He missed the bird, and you have to take the rubber band off, and you have 2 minutes to clock it. If you don't clock it in 2 minutes, you get a penalty of 10 minutes. So, or the penalties are so severe. So they use still manual clocks with electronic clocks on big national flights. So there's no cheating.
Getting back to the training, I'm just going to add some comments here from everybody. Mike Vandriak, it's normal for birds to circle. Getting them to leave immediately takes training and technique. One tip, allow the birds to sit at the release point for at least 15 minutes before opening the basket. Longer is better. Ryan, I think you would totally agree with that, right?
Yeah, have a coffee, have a drink, have something, sit there and be patient. I know as you get better and better, you don't need to wait as long, but that's a great tip. You take your lunch and have your lunch. Perfect. 15, 20 minutes and then go.
And just to follow up on that, why are you sitting there for the 15 to 20 minutes? What does that help do for people who don't know?
You're just helping the birds settle, calm themselves down. Remember, they first start going in the car and they get the shakes and the this and the that, and you put them out. You let them come to a calm. So they start thinking, well, what are we doing? Then you can let them out. I don't know if it works or not. We do it, and I like it. Yeah, it's good.
Okay, Alfred says, young pigeons must be taken away a little bit hungry. As we play is that the young pigeons are done early so that they learn not to come home with a cock or hen. When the flight starts, then we open the door for the flight so they can mess with each other. You should not do this with strong wind because then the cocks are great again. From 240 kilometers, we do this. Ryan?
Yeah, you first start. Remember, with young pigeons, feed when training helps you. So you want to have them dialed back. You use a bit of the hunger technique until they're getting everything, until you know what you have. And I normally say you don't know your young pigeons until you have them on the wing for about 80 miles, 60 to 80 miles. An hour and a half to 2 hours. That's the time. Your pigeons can be doing great at the 20-mile mark. They become different when you get them to 80 miles. They act a little different because it's a little bit bigger jump. It's concentration on the mind. So, you use your feed at the beginning of the training until you know what you have, until you're playing them out. And Alfred says, he uses the motivation as the races get into the race season with the young pigeons. That helps us, again, a little more motivation.
Brian says, I think the best probiotic for racing pigeons is homemade milk kefir. I know Mo, he works for Solani Cheese. He gives his birds? Is it the whey? I can't remember now. Or is it the milk kefir? Right, it's the whey? I think it's the whey, right?
It's the whey. It's the whey, yeah. It's the whey.
Troy, Ryan, I'll be watching to see how long it takes the one Loft race pigeons to clear the release point. Yes, you will be watching, Troy, and everybody else is going to be able to watch along as well because all of our releases we broadcast live on Facebook and YouTube, so we can all watch.
You know what? I have no problems. You can come and watch. You can come and sit with me. And I never said I was a super great pigeon man, because I haven't played in the pigeon land. But I'm going to tell you one thing. When I come to fly here, and I will, I'll be shitting my pants because I don't know if I'm a pigeon man yet.
Michael Peevler has a question. Actually, he has a comment, which I just lost the comments. I love it when this does this. Where was your comment, Michael? Hold on, I'm going to get to it here in a second. Here it is. Here it is. Michael Peevler. When they release, you hear a whistle or a horn going off. In North America, you hear nothing. Now, I do know when were there at Quevran, they did the release. There wasn't a horn, but there was somebody who made a loud like now, or like go or whatever.
Yeah, he called out. What people don't get is it was calm. It was calm, and then about 20 minutes before, maybe a half an hour, they start cutting the ties. Now remember, we're talking cutting the ties on 8 trailers, 10 baskets high, 24 baskets long. We're talking a lot of ties to cut. Okay, a lot of detail. And I will say, you can hear the birds start to turn on. They know the sound of the cutting, that revs them up. And interesting enough, when they let the pigeons out, because those birds had been turned on for about 25 minutes of cutting these ties, when the pigeons come out, you could smell the sweat. You could smell they were fired up to go. And it's interesting. The way they yell, they let them out when they say now. The guy does it very loudly, and all the guys go together. Some in China, they do a horn, they do a ship's horn, whatever way. It just, the pigeons get used to it if it's the same every time.
Loft Manager Richard, nice to have you back.
Well, thank you very much. I just want to say what I was finishing off there. Now I forget, you know what I mean? So, yeah, the whistle, yeah, just tells the guys, open the gates, and they're gone.
Yeah, that's right.
Guys, I know we've had complaints that either some people are saying, oh, we can't hear you. Now people are saying, I'm too loud. You're going to have to adjust the volume on your YouTube or your Facebook. There's not really a whole lot we can do. We're trying our best here. Please realize we're broadcasting this live from 3 separate places from across the world, and we're doing our best. So I apologize if it's either A, too loud, or B, too quiet. Please adjust your volume accordingly, or you can always watch the rebroadcast at a later date and adjust your volume then. Go ahead. Loft Manager Richard.
Yeah, I know when I got cut out there, someone said, well, my birds are circling too much. I think the question was, and I was saying, is it the birds, or they were saying, is it the birds or is it me? And I think it's probably mostly the loft manager. If the birds aren't loft flying enough, if you're maybe overfeeding, if you have birds overcrowded, you got respiratory problems, that's all going to affect it. So you're seeing these birds, yeah, right.
And you got to give it time. Rome wasn't built in a day. Time.
100%. Your first toss out, they don't come like bullets. They're teenagers at that stage, and they like to play around and fool around, whatever. And I've seen it myself. I've taken birds up the road 5 miles, 8 kilometers, and let them out. And I've watched them. They go straight like bullets. And then I watch them. They fly right over my loft, and they don't come back for 40 minutes. But like that's the first couple tosses. And if you weren't watching, you'd say, I seen them go right over. You weren't watching, you'd say, well, those birds are stupid, this and that. They're teenagers. They have to learn. They have to be disciplined to do what they have to do.
That's why it's called training. Back to you, Leah.
It's called training. Sherry has a question. When training young birds at the beginning, would it be advised to send an old bird along, like a parent guiding a child? Thoughts?
I've heard some guys do it, But I'll be honest with you. If you have old birds that have done a whole race season, the old birds are just going to go up and do a half a circle and leave them. So I don't think it really works. I think it's a romantic thought, but no. The old birds are just going to get up. They're going to do that half a circle. They might do 1 or 2 circles with them, and then they're going to say, "Hey, it was nice knowing you guys. Thanks for flying with me. Go. Try it out. Try it for yourself and see. It's a good thing to test. That's a great thing, Sherry. It's a great thing that you said that. You have that idea. Some people have said it. We tried it last year with some birds. The old birds were smoking them home every time, but give it a try and maybe you see. Lots of ways to do it.
Now, on the flip side of that question, if you're trying to teach them to break, or you're just letting out the youngsters for the first time at your loft, and you're trying to make sure that they kind of stay put or whatnot or whatever, do you let the old birds out at that point to sort of, or is that dangerous because the old birds will go for a ramble and then maybe the young birds will go up and you never find them again? Like, do you let them out at the same time at the beginning stages?
It's all what you feel. I don't know. I don't think you have to. I mean, if you do, remember when when the pigeon goes out for the first time, and it's a little bit older or whatever, it has to make its decision as well. It has to make its decision where it's staying here or it's not. You can let them out with old birds. It can be good. It can be bad. You can let them out by themselves. It can be good. It can be bad. Any way to cut it, no matter, as long as you're not scaring them off the board and you let them be themselves, it's the best way. Don't go out there and make them fly. Don't get up there and scare them off the lawn, scare them off the roof, scare them out of the tree. Just leave them alone. Let them break calmly. Remember, when you're calm and relaxed, you don't make stupid decisions in your mind. When someone points a gun at you, you don't know what you're going to do. You run left, you run right, you run into a tree. Calm. Go ahead, Richard.
I'm finding this year, I put my birds together the 1st of March. Now I got young ones going out. I don't have a settling aviary for them. I put them out. They're in the loft. I open the chute up and I let them go out. They slowly walk out. They look around, and then they little bit of off the board, and they learn. They learn slow. It's like, I hate this, like a barn plug. He doesn't. Nobody. He just goes off the nest, looks around. He starts to learn. He flutters around. And, now, if you got birds that you hatched the end of December, those, I hate to say, couch potatoes, and now you're going to put them out. Now you got a bit of a situation where, even if you say, oh, I want to keep them lean, well, now you're really dangerous. Because if you open up that hole and they're lean, they're buoyant, they go out, first time they get a little bit of a scare, they're gone. If you let them out heavy, they get a scare, they fly over the trees a mile away, they're gone. So it's kind of like...
you need a little luck.
Yeah.
You need a little bit of luck.
So Ryan, Henry's asking, how many birds approximately were released at Quievrin? Around 50,000-ish, around there?
Yeah, I would give or take that, maybe. Yep, 50. Looked like it. I don't know. I think.
I'm just going to get to the questions. I guess Loft Manager Richard has left us. I'm sure he'll be back momentarily. Okay, next question here. Mike Vandriak. Oh, Jay-Z had a question. Here's a trivia question. When was the first pigeon raced, and what year, and what country? If anybody knows the answer to Jay-Z's pigeon trivia question of the evening, put it in the comments. Mike Vandriak, the old birds teach the young birds to leave right away and to trap immediately upon arrival at the loft.
No, I tried it last year. In my opinion, it didn't work at all. The old birds beat the young birds home every single time. Every time.
Mike Vanderyak,
But hey,
to get the young birds to start rambling, put them in a crate and release them from 100 yards from the loft to get them to ramble.
no. Oh. If the pigeons aren't rambling, they're not right. You're not right. And I haven't talked to one Belgian flyer that baskets them, or Dutch flyer, or German flyer. I've never heard one of them say this to me. I can't get them to fly. I never heard. I heard this in North America: basket them and drive them to the end of the driveway and let them out. You know what? Those that don't want to fly, I know. I think the best thing, just remove them. That's what I'm thinking.
Michael
Like the
Peebler has a
case.
question. How was your night out with the Norman family? Yeah, Ryan, you didn't do any recording yesterday. How was your night out last night with the Normans?
Richard, before you say, I'll finish this, and you can say. It was really good going to that awards. I never seen such a great group of people from the ages of mid 30s to 80 years old, men and women and families, and the food and the awards presentation. And every time they did an award for a couple of for one category, every category they would do the national anthem, played the music. They brought each person up on stage. They didn't give them a crappy piece of paper. They give them flowers and they give them a professional trophy. And normally I will do a live, but I didn't feel I wanted to do one yesterday. It was my first time going to that event, and I was at the head table. I was very lucky. I was a guest, and I just wanted to be quiet for that. I would have loved to shown it because they're professionals here in Belgium.
And Ryan, who are you saying you were? Who are you sitting beside at the head table?
We had Josh Yoj, Josh Yo, Josh Josh Yos or Josh Yosians. We had the prime minister of Spain, the Norman family. That was at my table. They were the head table, and that was a super long distance flyer there. That was incredible. I met the loft manager of Mark DeCock. We got invited to go there, and just the people in the room, the best of the best that were there in that room that night. It was very nice to see, and the food and the trophies and the camaraderie. And when the party was over, when the awards were done, they had the dancing and they played some music, and then the people were singing back and forth. And
Was there any fighting, Brian? Was there any fighting like in the parking lot? Any fighting in the parking lot at all between anybody?
listen, listen, I'm going to say something. I never seen such well-dressed people in my life. Proud to be pigeon flyers, proud to be themselves. They looked nice, they were clean. They had an open bar, wine and beer. People drank the whole day and night. It started at 2. It was going till 9 o'clock at night. The people were having fun. People were cheering. People were giving round of applause. And I'm going to tell you something. I never seen so many people when, for instance, Richard and Troy won an award and they got up on the stage. I never seen so many people come up and take photos of these people. Different flyers taking photos, shaking their hands, congratulating them. You know what? I want to fly pigeons in Belgium. Because you know why? They got the attitude that I like.
And although Ryan did not record at yesterday's awards ceremony, a little tidbit for our Pioneer family, just to let you know where Ryan will be next Monday before, I guess he's leaving, before his return back to Canada. Ryan will be at the Golden Doif Awards next Monday with John Gladwin and all of the Golden Doif champions, and are going to bring you a little bit of that live next Monday, live from the Golden Doif Awards. Ryan will be at. Very exciting that you're able to attend that. I know we represent quite a few breeders who have won the Golden Doif, and it's the best of the best, guys. So Ryan will be there next Monday night, so make sure you guys tune in for that. That's going to be very exciting. Let me get to the comments here. Ryan, did you want to add something before I get to the comments?
I hate to sound like I'm being sour on our local area, but I'm going to say something. I pray to God that none of these people that we represent come and have to fly here, because our combines, I'm not here to rip, it's run to a disaster. The trophies are a disaster. The people's talking to each other is a disaster. The liberating is a disaster. The transporters are a disaster. You know what? I'm amazed it's even working in Canada. And the only way you see it is to put time in here, and you start to see it. You see it as black and white, and you see it from the people. These people love to race their pigeons. You know, I was sitting at a table. The Normans, Nicholas Norman has his girlfriend, and his girlfriend's family came. And his sister was beside us with her husband, and they said, you know what? We don't have time to race the pigeons, but we love every weekend we go and we watch the pigeon races at the Normans. We have some drinks, we have a barbecue, and we enjoy it. And sometimes we go away on our vacations. That's why we don't have pigeons right now. But our kids are loving it. We're going to get into pigeons here a little bit later. But we go every weekend and we enjoy the pigeons. These people were at an awards where they weren't getting an award. They were there participating and having fun. You know what? There was no big prize money there. It was for prestige of winning a Barcelona, a Perpignan, a Narbonne, big world-class races. That's that.
David Tracy, has Ryan ever met Yost Tony?
I spoke with. I haven't got to speak with Yost. I've got to speak with Xavier, his son. I'd like to get in touch with Yost, but you have to go through Xavier. He's a busy guy. Again, same like Koopman. Some of the people I can get to, some of them are too busy, and now you're going to see here. It's race season, and it's hard for me to get in because these people are focused. I mean, literally. Eric Lindbergh said, Ryan, you got to come here this day because after this, you can't come. I got to be with these birds. I got to do this every day. So I only have so much time. We try and fit as many people as we can in. But hey, if you want me to see Yost Tone, send him a private message. Help me out. Tell him, hey, this guy from Feathers Elite, he's number one. Give me a push.
Richard?
Yeah, Ryan, I believe what you're saying. I could see the visit to Paul McAloney. It was feed time for him, and I could see it. He wanted to discuss on one of the videos. I got to go feed. I'm feeding. Okay, Ryan. Yeah, he didn't say Ryan. I'm feeding this one. Like he's on a schedule. A schedule. It's feed time. And exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. And you know, this is the thing, again, this isn't to discourage the people in North America. This is just a way of life here. These people, racing pigeons is real. This is like being a car driver, or you're in a professional bowling league, or your kids playing AAA hockey or AAA baseball. You're there, you're serious. This is serious shit, man. But they have fun, and they're very nice people.
And they're very respectful to each other and appreciative of each other. And I've been to the shows as well. I've been to Houten in the Netherlands. You know, you get 20, 25,000 pigeon men, or however many, 10,000, I can't remember. There was a lot. That's all I know. And they have the beer flowing. You go to some of the booths, and they have beer. You know, everybody's drinking. Everybody's having a good time. I didn't see one fight, not one. Everybody's happy. They're hanging out in the parking lot. They're smoking. They're high-fiving. They're shaking hands. They're hugging. I've never seen anything like it. And you know, when I came back, you say to yourself, we got to do better here. We have to do better here. As pigeon flyers, as pigeon keepers, as sportsmen, women, we got to do better.
The problem is, it's like I go to these places, you know, today with Wim. I was there, a referral from Emil Denny's, and would you like a beer, Ryan? Yeah, I have a beer. We had a couple beers. He says to me, "You never trust a man who doesn't drink. It's part of the culture. It's part of. They don't drink to get drunk. They have a good fun time, and they're social, and they they're passionate, and they love the pigeons, and they love the good time, and they love good hard nosed racing, and it's nice." Nice
Yeah,
to see.
it's very nice, for sure. Somebody was asking about the new loft. So let's talk a little bit about the new loft for the Pioneer One loft, Loft Manager Richard's loft. What are we doing with that, guys?
Ricky's on it, man. He's putting the
Yeah.
walls in now. He's doing some good
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah, it's going to be good. Very
Yeah,
good.
So,
it's good. It's going to be good. You guys are going to see it when I get back. We're going to do the final details on it. And the guys, like I said, we get everything done. We are the only race in Canada. What we say we're going to do, we do it.
So Ryan will be back next week, late next week. When Ryan gets back and unpacks his bag and takes a moment to catch his breath, he will be showing you the progress that's been made on the loft so far with Loft Manager Richard, and Ryan's going to help Loft Manager Richard complete the task of the loft, and you guys are going to see it every step of the way, starting next week when Ryan gets back to Canada. Tracy said, Ricky just won 2 extra weeks to prepare the loft. Actually, Tracy, you're 100% right. It kind of works out well because we're not going to be as rushed as we were going to be before with Ryan getting back and then immediately having to take the birds in. It's going to give us all a little bit, maybe 2 weeks to kind of catch our breath before we get in to intaking the one loft. So it kind of all worked out well for everybody, I think. For us, anyway. Guys?
Yeah, no, I think it'll be fine. There's no problems. The lofts are easy to do. A couple of days and they're done. And again, guys, just get your birds, used to eating and drinking. And
Just
go ahead,
let me
Richard.
say something. It's Ricky's loft, and Ricky's completed. There'll be no changes.
Oh boy.
Done.
Oh, we'll see that.
Okay?
We'll see
Done.
that.
No, there'll be no changes. And I hope, Ryan, you can take a little sip of Kool-Aid and appreciate that. The loft is finished.
All right.
Okay,
It's finished.
that's it.
Oh, there we go.
There'll be no changes. This is
There
Ricky's loft,
There we
and
go.
Ricky's going to do it. And by the way, I have a 12-inch landing board that's 8 feet long. How do you like that, folks?
As long as you didn't cut any holes in the loft, you're gonna be okay.
No. I don't need holes. The birds,
No.
boom, no changes. Okay. So you know what?
We're gonna wrap this up soon. We do have the draw that we're gonna give away. Frank was asking about pictures of entries. We're gonna get to that in a second. Mark Jean, nice to see you on. Say hi to Rosemary for me. He's asking, are all the perches taken? We do have a few perches left. I think there's around, 40-ish, 50-ish, maybe perches left in and around there. On that note, I don't know if you guys saw my post last week, but as you guys know, the baddest bitch of 2021, Karen, she won a little bit of prize money for myself and the Flying Bitches. And we were going to set up a ladies' league in our Pioneer Combine in our club portion. I just don't feel we have the participants for it. So I had said last year that I was going to take the prize winnings and somehow create a ladies' league or a ladies' trophy or something along those lines. We don't have a whole lot of support with our Pioneer Combine, but we do have quite a bit of support with our Pioneer One Loft race. And we do have quite a few ladies who have registered, who have their own teams, or are doing single perches or whatnot. So what I thought I would do, because the last 2 years we've concentrated on juniors and getting younger people into the sport, this year I'd like to focus on getting more women involved in the sport. As we see, we can use people as inspiration like Annemie Van Hee, Anna Gauthier, Leandra Munich, Sonia Vandermalen, which are all extremely inspirational pigeon racing women. And I thought, this is going to be the year of the women. And so I have decided, the Flying Bitches, that I'm going to sponsor any lady that has a team reserved in her name or a perch reserved in her name will receive a complimentary perch, a free perch, an additional perch, sponsored by the Flying Bitches and Feathers Elite Pigeon Auction. So if you are a woman, you're going to get an extra perch. What's going to happen is those free perches are going to fly for Team Flying Bitches. And if we have 10 perches sold or 10 perches given for the Flying Bitches, we'll do 5 in Loft Manager Ryan's loft, 5 in Loft Manager Richard's loft, and yeah, we're going to compete against the boys. And the lady that has the most amount of points at the end of the season is going to win the Pioneer One Loft Race Ladies League Flying Bitches trophy, whatever that might be, prize, whatever it might be. I haven't figured out what the prize is going to be, but that's what we're doing. So if you're a lady and you got a team registered, or you're interested in registering a team, or you're interested in purchasing a perch, you will get 1 complimentary perch in honor of Karen, the biggest, baddest bitch of 2021. Girl power, as Frank Eichhorn would say. Couldn't have said it better myself, Frank. Girl power. Get Kathy, get her a perch, or get her a team, and she's going to get one on me. Let's get more women involved.
Very
Sherry's
good.
in. Good job. Sherry, we knew you were in. Good woman. Tracy's in. Go, bitches, go. And I must say, speaking of Tracy, this is not my handiwork here, folks, but look at that phenomenal logo for Team Flying Bitches. Have you ever seen anything so special? Is that the first time you've seen it,
It's
Loft Manager
amazing.
Richard?
Oh God, that looks like one
It looks,
bitch.
It sure does,
you know
doesn't
what?
it?
It almost looks, it
But the
almost
only
looks
thing
like
is,
the Y.
so,
Go back to the
but
picture again.
Oh, it's
that bitch is
fantastic.
going left.
All
It
she
looks like
needs,
you see where the Y is. The Y looks like a cigarette.
well, as its leader,
Very nice.
it's going to be great. We're going to have a great time. Guys, I don't care. The girls, ladies, if you want to send cocks, hens, I don't care. I think it would be cute if we all sent hens, because then we would all be really a team of bitches. But send
Yeah.
cocks, send hens, send colors, send blues, send whatever you want. Let's see if we can kick the boys' butts. Michael Peebler, make up some t-shirts. Don't worry, we're going to get Tracy on it. But yeah, that's an awesome logo.
So
And I am really excited to see how many bitches we're going to have this year. We're going to kick you boys' butts. So
Leah,
exciting. Yes.
Leah, can I ask a question? Are we going to have a Flying Bitches wet t-shirt competition?
That would be a hard
Oh,
no.
Richard.
But
Back to
Loft
you.
Manager Richard, thanks so much for bringing that up. Super. You can just never fails to get it in there.
He's Loft
Mark
Manager
Jean,
Richard.
if I have a team,
Hold on.
wait a minute. I've got questions, so let's not get silly. Mark Jean, if I have a team, can I purchase a perch for Rosemary at what cost? Absolutely. The perches, single perches, are $350 a perch. And you're going to get this extra free perch or to be on Team Flying Bitches, whether you have one perch under Rosemary's name or your lady in your life's name, or you get a whole team for Rosemary or a lady in your life. I believe Sherry Tracy has an entire team. I know Tracy has an entire team. Heather Green has an entire team, but you don't need an entire team. If you just want to try it out, or your lady in your life, or your girlfriend or your wife or your mother or your sister or whoever, you just want to put one in, no problem. I mean, I want to get more women involved this year, so let's do it. Oh, Tracy says, let's tattoo it on Ryan. Well, we could do that at the end of the season. How about this? I know. If the girls beat the boys, Ryan's got to get a Flying Bitches tattoo on his arm.
What's the boys' league? What the hell's the boys' league? What's going on
Excuse
here?
me, it is always the boys' league all the time, okay? We're going to have our moment this year. Just let us have it.
Okay. All right.
David, don't encourage Loft Manager Richard. David says, Ricky's the man, wet t-shirt. Yeah, oh no.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm
Wait,
going to say
guys,
something.
hold on. Just
Hold
wait.
on. I want to say one thing. any person that's on the Flying Bitches team, the women, we are going to, wherever they come from, we're going to fly them in for the wet t-shirt competition.
Yeah, Loft Manager Richard's going to be wearing a wet t-shirt. Yes, that is my father. I'm so proud of that fact right now. You make me so proud sometimes, Dad. I can't even tell you. All right, enough of that silliness. I want to thank everybody who took the time to post their photos. We got quite an influx of squeakers from last week to this week. I'm sure it had nothing to do at
How many
all
we get?
with the prize we're giving away. What prize are we giving away? Let's remind everybody, Ryan. What do you got there? What are we giving for today's squeaker giveaway? What do we got there? In case you guys missed it last week.
There's the autographed breeder catalog of Jan Hoymans, and there's the autograph there. There it is. You see it, and it's got all the color pages of all the breeders. You get everything inside here. Very nice book. It's a nice and thick, beautiful, and you see
very nice
intro. You get everything. So we're gonna give this away. How many did we get this week, Leah?
I'm going to count I don't know exactly precisely how many we got because I didn't count, but we got quite a few. What are we talking about? We're talking about our 2022 Pioneer One Loft Race Show Us Your Squeakers competition, where you post a photo of one of your Pioneer One Loft Race participants or all of your Pioneer One Loft Race participants at home with you in their squeaker stage. And we're going to draw every week. We're going to give away a prize for those of you who do post up your photos. And this week, we're going to give away a autographed Ian Hoymans book. I just want to show the pictures here quickly here. Sorry, guys, I didn't save them all, but here we have a few photos from Mike and Heather Green. Who else do we have here? Chris Marshman. Here's her little Pioneer squeakers. Look how good they look. Here's another one from Chris Marshman. I love it when they have that little, what do you call it? The little down, the little fluff. They're so cute. Here we go. Team Frank Eichhorn. Look at that beauty. I think I showed these ones last week. Yeah, I did show these. Okay, let's get to some new ones. Thelma and Louise, we showed. Lucky Horseshoe Loft. With cute little Anastasia. We showed that one. We showed Roush. We showed Henry's. Oh, look at this one. From Mike Vanderyak. This is my Pioneer entry. Oh boy. Anyway, DNA. I can't pronounce that right now. Deoxyribonucleic acid, or just DNA to his friends and family. DNA. Here we go, Ryan. DNA from Mike Vanderyak. Great name. Oh my goodness. What are you doing, Mike? Look, she's showing photos of the eyes of the sire. You're on fire, Mike. Look at this, the dam. This is the eye sign of the dam of DNA.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Now where are the other four, Mike? Show me the other four too. Come on. Get your team in, Mike.
Oh, look at this cutie. Look at this. Mike Parrish. Where's Mike Parrish from?
That's a winner.
That's a winner right there.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Look at that from Mike Parrish. Good job. Hopefully you guys enjoy seeing these.
Very nice.
We got more. We got Ampar Loft.
Oh boy, a big old one.
Yeah, that's an old one, eh? Oh, here we go. Ken Lavoie. Oh. Recycle number 2. He says, I'm back. Oh boy, as you know, Ken Lavoie, he did great last year with Recycle. Cavender Loft. What does he write? I'm thinking that maybe these 2 pigeons will look like the 2 that I will buy at your young bird auction for the races. A for effort, Cavender Loft. A for effort, Tracy's. Look at how cute they are. Look. Oh, I love it. I'm going to next week. I will do shots of all of them so we can see them properly. I'm in the midst of putting together Emil Denny's auction right now, so I'm a little strapped for time. But okay, Loft Manager Richard, we're going to draw for that book in 2 seconds. Oh, Mike Vanderyak says that not to worry, Ryan. You can call. Oh, Mike, I love you. You can call his bird just Gene for short. Just Gene. That's clever, Mike.
Gee,
That's clever. David Tracy has a question. Hey, Ryan, is it possible to get an Emil Denny autograph for my man cave? Just asking.
Well, what I am probably going to do, I didn't want to say anything until tomorrow, but because you guys are on the Pioneer family and this is different, I have a book. I don't know, Richard, is the book in the by the computer or by the fridge? The big book, the big red book?
You know the Emil
yeah,
Denny book we have there? Do you have
yeah,
it there?
yeah, yeah. Yes, I do.
Yeah, could you
Yes.
grab it for me? Grab the book.
Okay, no problem.
So that book, Richard's going to show. I think I'm going to be getting one more from Emil Denny's, and I will get him to autograph it. I think it's probably going to go to the highest bidder of a bird. Um, the problem is I can't bring everything back, and if I love to get it autographed for you, I would. I'm going to tell you something. Grab yourself one of the birds, and there's some real special ones here. And I hope you get the book because it's a beautiful book, and he really is a legend. He's a great pigeon man, great pigeon ambassador, great human being. Really, number one. The people that he works with, he treats them with the best respect. The loft managers that he has helping him, because again, he's 75 years old. He treats them with the most respect, takes care of everyone, and he's just a super guy. And I got to say, I'm very lucky to be invited to go to Thailand with him. And Feathers Elite, we are going to be partnering up with Emil Denny's for a major race in Thailand to represent Canada and the United States. And I have to thank Emil Denny's for that opportunity. I never expected it, but he loves what we do. He loves the work ethic, and he wants to be a part of it with us. So I think, Leah, if you don't mind, I don't mind going to Thailand. Am I allowed to go?
Yes, you can definitely go to Thailand. He's absolutely an incredible man. He is a legend. Same with Xavier Verstrata. Uh, we have saved, in our opinion, the epitome of what it is to be a pigeon racer, a pigeon keeper, a pigeon lover. We've saved the last two breeders, Xavier Verstrata and Emil Denny, because we think that they just exemplify what it is to be a European pigeon flyer. I mean, they check all the boxes. They're incredible people, right? Just great and
And,
incredible
I,
loft
It,
managers.
yeah.
I had to say one other thing before you show the book, but I was talking with Verstrata, and he's again getting older, and Brenda, his wife, she's in the loft every day with him. She helps scrape, helps band, she helps. And he said, the last couple of years, I don't think I would have had the results if it wasn't for my wife. She's kept me going strong, and she helps out, and she gives. We're equals, and he always says as one of his tips. Sometimes you're better to have four eyes in the loft instead of two. Four eyes just see a little more. Go ahead, Richard.
I wanted to say, I believe it was 3 or 4 years ago, we went to visit Xavier, and he was nice enough to take us to visit his father at his father's house.
Roll.
And yeah, and his father at that time was, I believe, about 87, and walked in, and we seen all the pictures of of trophies, magazines his father had. It was totally incredible, and he said that in 1970 his father bought a pigeon, paid 11,000 euros in 1970 for a bird for their family, for their loft. So these people, they are 100% pigeon strong. 100%.
You want me to tell you another thing? Emil Denny's 75 years old, and he's won everything there's to win. There's not much more he's got left to do. I mean, come on. He's been second international in Barcelona twice, third international in Barcelona 3 times. He's done it all except win Barcelona, the international overall, and the man's going to do it. But listen, there's a pigeon in our sale. He brings me out a cockbird, and I'm holding him. Boy, he's a nice pigeon, eh? Super. Whoa, whoa. We have a direct child from him, and I'm not going to say who it is. But he's a blue. He's just a super pigeon. And Emil had him now for 3 years. And the type of guy Emil was he paid 100,000 euros for the pigeon. You see?
Ouch.
He says, I have to
Ouch.
buy the best to improve. And you guys here at Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions, you guys have that opportunity. So the good ones, these ones aren't good. They're fucking incredible.
On that note, I just wanted to add, before we show the Emil Denny book there that we're going to get another copy of, I just wanted to add to that, as far as Xavier Verstrada, his wife Brenda, we got this beautiful little photo here. I mean, what a classy woman this is. She reminds me of like Sophia Loren or I don't know, Grace Kelly. There she is with one of the birds that we're auctioning off, her favorite in the sale, which is, I believe, Extra 77, a proven racer. She loves this bird to death. And I think she's going to be sad to see it go, Ryan. We have some video footage that I'm going to put up of her feeding the bird. She loves that bird. But anyway, just showing how it is a family affair there, right? And how when you were filming at Xavier's, you said, well, we gotta watch because his wife goes in twice a day and scrapes the loft. That beautiful woman there scraping the loft to help the husband out, to help the team out, to help the family. I mean, it's incredible. Anyway,
when you see her hold that pigeon, she's got corn in its mouth, and the cockbird was taking corn out of her mouth. And I videotaped it. We're talking, I say, the pigeon people over there, they're on another level. You just don't see somebody do that, and just like that. But anyways, the book, it's time for the book, LMR.
Yeah, let's see the book, Dad. The Emil Denny book that we have there. Which was given to Richard and Ryan the last time you guys went to visit Emil Denny. Let's see it, please.
Took me a little bit of time to get it because I had to go through the library, and I went and got it. So
let's hold it up.
Here it is.
Oh, there it is.
My arms, and you see Emil Denny's here.
Now hold on, just hold
on. Go
ahead. In
Ryan.
that book, there's Emil Denny's, there's Nicholas Norman, and there's Xavier Verstrada in that exact book right there. Of the people that we've represented. And turn the book sideways for a second so you show how thick this book is. Okay. There you go.
And then open up a couple pages, right? Or sorry, Dad.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
So
while you're doing that, David Tracy, when will the Emil Denny birds go up for auction? They open on Wednesday. Hold it down a bit. Yeah, there we go. Silver Wing Barcelona Jr. Look at that. I got a direct out of Silver Wing Barcelona Jr., by the way. I also have a direct out of that bird right there, Blau Narboni. We got a direct out of that one.
Did I open the right page? I just opened it.
You did. You did. You did.
I can turn. Yeah. This is an amazing book. Amazing. You people won't believe what you got here.
Yeah,
this is gold.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I don't know if you want me to open another page.
No, that's good. That's good. We're gonna get to the comments, then we're gonna do the draw, and then we're gonna wrap this up. But yeah, we're gonna see if we can get another one.
Can you let me talk?
Okay.
for one moment.
Richard, go.
Let me talk. Okay, if you get this book, and let's say you're reading it in your bed, and you start to doze off, and you're at a certain page, it also has a book marker.
Incredible.
You see it? Or let's say you're on the toilet. You know,
yeah, it's
right.
super.
You got that.
Yeah, we
It's
got
a it's a great
moving
book.
on.
All right,
that.
moving on.
It's a beautiful book.
It's a great book.
Look at the back of this book. Look at the back.
Superstars,
Look.
Absolutely. DeVille Lofts. A lot of people in the UK question this about Belgium have the best birds because the terrain there is flat. I think the UK has some of the best pigeon fanciers. You know, and it's funny, Ryan. We were discussing this a couple days ago. Remember you and I had this conversation?
Yeah, you know, the UK, the Irish pigeons, the French pigeons, the German pigeons, the Polish pigeons, they all have good pigeons. It's a different level here. And I say here, I'm meaning in Europe. It's different. North America is different. Mexico is not, I don't call Mexico in with North America. Mexico's on their own. They're more, I would say, towards the European style, and I haven't been there. But with the type of birdage, I can tell you they're going to be a little different pigeon men. I talked to these Belgians, and guys, Belgium normally toots their own horn. They do. Most of the super Belgians will say the best pigeon flyers are in Taiwan. That's what they say. So I think there's good all over, and I've just been here longer. When I went to the England and Ireland and Scotland, I really respect those pigeons. They have a little bit different of a course. It's a lot harder than the Belgium course. But again, you know, I take a guy like Emile Denny's, and he's done very well in international races. He's done very well in one loft races, and we're just talking about him. But there are great pigeon flyers all over Europe, and I really mean that.
Good answer. Okay, we're gonna do the draw. Are you guys ready for the draw? Let me know in the comments. Is it like cut off or something? Because I'm not getting a whole lot of comments from Facebook. So if we're ready to do the draw for the Squeaker Squad photo challenge of the week, let me know in the comments if you're on Facebook and you can hear me and we're still live. Let me know if you want to do the draw for the autographed Jan Hoymans book. Let me know in the comments. We've got a little bit of a delay, so we will wait for everybody to catch up. Did we want to talk about anything else in the meantime? Was there something else we had to talk about today? I can't remember. Oh, what I did want to mention is the Xavier Verstrada is on open right now, Feathers League Pigeon Auctions. You guys are probably wondering, where's the Loft Tour? We're going to show the Loft Tour hopefully tomorrow or Wednesday. Ryan shot the entire Loft Tour and the stupid memory card messed up and we have no volume. So he has to go back tomorrow and reshoot the Xavier Verstrada Loft Tour. So it is coming, guys. Not to worry. In the next couple days, I will have it up. Everybody can hear. Good job. Let's do the draw. Everybody's ready for it. Loft Manager Richard. Ryan, hold the book up. Loft Manager Richard's going to shake the handy dandy strainer. And I'm going to do the drum roll. Good luck to everybody. Where's the drum roll? Loft Manager Richard, who is it? And the winner of the autographed Jan Hoymans catalog is...
These darn things are compressed like...
Oh, fuck.
You can do it.
Remember we were in Mexico that time?
You can do it.
Remember that time for bingo?
Oh, it hurts. It hurts. Go, Dad. Come on. Do I have to do the drum roll again? Drum roll. Oh my God.
Mike Green.
God.
Oh,
Lucky horse. Yeah.
What's the name of the loft?
Mike Green, Lucky Horseshoe Loft.
Mike Green, Lucky Horseshoe Loft. Let's see the book again, Ryan, please.
Sorry? Oh, I thought you had it up there, but okay, let's get her back in.
Mike Green, Lucky Horseshoe Loft, you are the winner of the autographed Ian Hoyman's catalog. Guys, never fear. We're doing this again next week. What are we giving away next week, Ryan?
Okay, I'm going to ask for this one now. I want you guys to get a picture of your young bird with you, giving the thumbs up, okay? Right by your face, okay? Get a picture. You don't have to give a thumbs up. Just get the picture there. Get it with your young birds. If we can get 100, I might be able to get another one of these, maybe, or something else autographed special. Hold on. I'd like to give away a free entry, but we need to get 100. I want to get 100. The 100's for it.
Okay, so we have to get 100
I mean, hey,
total on the squeaker, post your squeaker, 100 photos total, and next week we're going to give away a free perch. So I'll have to make sure I count them. So get your
and
photos
Richard's
posted.
gonna I'm sorry, Leah. I know you're getting tired. Listen, I'm in the frickin' hotel. Settle it down. But watch this. Richard, I want you to take the first photo. And how Richard does it, that's how you guys have to do it.
I just want to
Hold on.
see, I would like to see just photos of
Wait.
youngsters. If we could just keep posting your photos of your participants on our post, whether with you, thumbs up. Let's see if we can get 100. Next week, we're going to do this all over again. Super job, guys. Great interaction, great comments, great everything from everybody, great questions. We love Monday Night Pioneer Family Show. On the agenda this week for Feathers Leap Pigeon Auctions, Ryan will be at Xavier Verstrada tomorrow. His loft tour is coming up. Emil Denny opens on Wednesday. His loft tour is coming up. The last 2 auctions of the season, guys. So now's the time to take advantage of these great pigeons at this amazing deal. All bids are, again, obviously, always in Canadian dollars. This year, can't say next year they're going to be in Canadian. Don't know what's going to happen next year. So take advantage of the savings and the incredible pigeons this year. David Tracy says the fun never ends with the Pioneer family. It never ends. The fun has just begun. The fun hasn't even begun yet, David, but it will. Don't worry. Intake dates for the Pioneer 1 Loft race, May 9th to the 23rd. That's it for me. Thanks, guys. Great show. Wrap it up, you two.
We had a good night.
Hey, are you done, Richard? Because when I'm wrapping it up, I'm done. So you give your point, then I'm done.
Well, I'd like to say thank you, Ryan, for going to that liberation. I enjoyed it. I've never seen that kind of liberation before, and the way they organized that. I just say I really enjoyed that.
Well, you will come with me next year, Ricky. We will go, we'll do it together so you can experience it, because I will say, for any pigeon flyer that enjoys pigeon flying, that is something to see. It's something to take in. It's something to experience, because you will never forget it. The sound, the smell, the electricity from the excitement of the pigeons. It's incredible. On this note, I will wrap it up for both of us. Richard, you're done now. You've said everything. It's out of your system, right?
I have some more to say, but I'm not going to say it.
Next week.
Okay, so next week. Okay, guys. Tomorrow.
I want to be the president of the wet T-shirt competition.
Super.
And
on that note,
get all these people.
Okay.
Ryan, sign it off. I'm muting Dad. Go ahead.
All right. So tomorrow I'll be at Ronnie Mittens. I got to do a taping there. We're going to do a Facebook Live with Ronnie. Good old Ronnie. You guys are going to like him. We're going to be at Verstrada's tomorrow evening. Emil Denny's on Wednesday, and keep following us along. There's going to be more lives, more loft tours, more. We're not done. We're still ramping up. We got another week and a half here or so. So guys, inch by inch, brick by brick, mile by mile. You hear me say it, but words is shit. You got to do it. You got to show it. And that's what we do here at Pioneer. That's what we do at Feathers Elite. We go the distance, the miles. We go for you guys, and you guys are on this ride with us. You're along with us, and you're going with us. That's great. So keep promoting the sport. Enjoy what we do. Like, share, and subscribe. Please, guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please. I'm Ryan, Feathers Elite. That's Leah, Richard, Pioneer. All around we go. Thanks for flying with us, guys. Be safe. Talk to you later. Bye for now.
Good night.